अस्सलाम वालेकुम नाज़रीन, कैपिटल टीवी वाशिंगटन इस वक्त यहूदियों की इबादत गाह के अंदर मौजूद है और यहाँ पर उन्होंने मुसलमानों के लिए एक अफ्तार डिनर का एहतमाम किया। ये इंटरफेथ तकरीब थी, इसमें तमाम तो नहीं लेकिन ज़्यादा काफ़ी सारे मज़ाहिब के लोग यहाँ पर मौजूद थे और हमारी उनसे बात भी हुई। उन्होंने स्पीचेस भी की और यहाँ पर मगरिब की नमाज़ जमात के साथ अदा की गई और बाकी तमाम मज़ाहिब के लोगों ने नमाज़ अदा करते हुए लोगों को देखा। तो आइए चलते हैं इस तकरीब की झलकियाँ देखते हैं।
Name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Dear faith leaders, ambassadors, members of Congress, and people of all faiths, greetings and welcome. It is with utmost pleasure, respect, and dignity that I cordially invite you and welcome you all to the Interfaith Muslim Jewish Iftar 2023, organized collaboratively by Masjid Muhammad, AMWAC, Combat Anti-Semitism Movement, and Congregation Benai Tzedek. The Quran says, O you who believe, decreed upon you is fasting, as it was decreed upon those before you, so that you may become righteous. And so, as we all know, with the onset of the holy month of Ramadan, begin the 30 days of fasting for the Muslims. During the fast, from the time that the sun rises to the time that it sets, Muslims practice restraint by refraining not only from food and drinks, but also from bodily carnal desires. And that is so that we can anchor deeper within ourselves the love and devotion for Allah Almighty.
The holiest day in the Jewish calendar is Yom Kippur, when all food and drink are prohibited to those of healthy mind and body, to atone for the sins of not only the individual, but also the entire Jewish people over. According to tradition, fasting in Judaism serves as a means of not only repenting, but also of striving for holiness, to become like the angels, as the Talmud teaches. The Kuzari, a book written by Rabbi Yehuda Halevi, a Sephardi Torah scholar in Spain during the 11th and 12th centuries, describes it as the following. And they fast on this day to approach a resemblance of the angels, inasmuch as the fast is consummated by humbling themselves, lowering their heads, standing, bending their knees, and singing hymns of praise. Then all the physical powers abandon their natural functions and engage in spiritual functions, as though having no animal nature.
Hello everyone, my name is Safi. I am your host and MC for today's event. I have the great honor of representing AMWAC as its administrative intern. AMWAC, formerly known as the American Muslim Multi-Faith Women's Empowerment Council, is a bipartisan NGO founded in 2009. AMWAC seeks to empower women leaders and foster interfaith dialogue, as we are all doing today. Our vision is to deliver and promote religious freedom and advocate for the rights of women and minorities. Collaborating with AMWAC today, we have Masjid Muhammad, also called the Nation's Mosque or Washington Masjid. It is a place of worship for thousands of Muslims in the Washington, D.C. area. On Fridays, hundreds gather to offer praise and thanks to Allah, listen to the Imam deliver a meaningful sermon.
And hi everyone, my name is Catherine Schkupp. I'm the Partnerships and Diplomatic Relations Manager at the Combat Anti-Semitism Movement, and I will be co-hosting with my fellow MC Safi for tonight's Interfaith Iftar. The Combat Anti-Semitism Movement, which has 700 plus organizations in its coalition and over 2 million people actively engaged in the work against Jew hatred, has been a proud partner of AMWAC and its annual Interfaith Iftar since 2021. We are grateful to finally join all of you in person this year for the Iftar Break Fast, as well as to join in the celebration of this holy time of reflection during the month of Ramadan. We are grateful to collaborate with tonight's hosting Jewish community, partner of the program and official venue for tonight's Iftar gathering, Congregation Benai Tzedek. Situated in Montgomery County, Benai Tzedek provides a welcoming place of worship and gathering space for the religious, spiritual, educational, and social needs of the local community, while simultaneously upholding Jewish traditions and values. Please, if we may have a round of applause for the Benai Tzedek staff and community for their generosity.
In the first segment of our event, we will be introducing to the stage our esteemed guest speakers for today. Following which, as we approach the time of the Maghrib Azan, with the guidance of the Rabbi and the Imam, we will collectively break our fast. As per tradition, it will then be the time to offer the Maghrib Namaz prayer. To facilitate everyone interested in offering the Maghrib prayer, the flashcards have details for the Namaz prayer offering. And finally, we will wrap up with a dinner. Just on a side note, we just want to bring to your attention that there are two beautiful paintings depicting the community of Tharparkar from Pakistan. They were donated by partners of AMBAC and will be up for purchases via bidding. They are, I believe, situated outside. So all of the proceeds of the bidding sale will go towards the relief of the victims of the Turkey earthquake. So after our event, if you want to bid, kindly proceed to the table. Put your full name and the amount you want to bid.
To begin the speakers portion of our program tonight, please welcome Rabbi Stuart Weinblatt, the founder of the synagogue in which we are celebrating an Interfaith Iftar together tonight. Rabbi Weinblatt established Congregation B'nai Tzedek in 1988 and serves as its senior rabbi. I believe I can speak for all the participants, Rabbi, and say thank you for graciously hosting us tonight and welcome to the podium.
Thank you so much. Just a word or two of introduction as to how this came about. Last year, I participated through the Combat Anti-Semitism movement, which I'm on the board of, this Iftar, Interfaith Iftar, but it was virtual. And I did it with Anila. And then when I found out that Anila, in fact, is in the greater Washington, D.C. area, I said, please come in and we must meet each other. And when we did, she mentioned to me that she had organized Iftar at a synagogue in Los Angeles for a number of years, when she had lived previously in California. And I said, let's do it here this year. And so here we are. And it is indeed our pleasure and honor to be able to host all of you here tonight. By way of introduction, a few words I'd like to say, and that is that you may notice over on the wall over here are the Hebrew letters. I call your attention. The Hebrew letters of the alphabet is the Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, going all the way through. That's me, yeah. And the reason the letters are up there is when we first built our synagogue, and the first chair of our building committee, Bruce Gunderson, is here and can attest to this. The board asked me to come up with a phrase. In many synagogues, there's a phrase that is on one of the walls of the synagogue to capture a sense of purpose. And so when I was asked to come up with a phrase, I thought about it, and then I decided instead, I think what I would like was to put up are the letters of the alphabet. And there's several reasons. Number one, to be honest, I was inspired by some of the mosques that I've seen, in which the letters of the Arabic language adorn the walls. And I thought, our letters are also beautiful, and so they should adorn the walls here. And number two, there's a beautiful, beautiful story that is told in our tradition, in legend is told. And the legend goes like this. That once upon a time, there was a man who had been very, very distant from the Jewish people, from the Jewish religion, and he did not know what to do. He didn't know how to pray, but he heard, as he was wandering through a forest, the sounds of prayer. He saw a light in the distance, and as he much as we will be concluding our service tonight with a prayer service led.
One of the main reasons why we are a little bit behind, but basically we pray the evening, that when there are stars in the sky, it's the beginning of the new day. The evening prayer is called Arbit. The morning prayer is called Shacharit, comes from the word Shachar, which means sun. And the prayer that we're going to pray now is Mincha, from the word an offering, a present also from the word Menucha. It's the time of taking a nap. sometimes it's the afternoon. So with that, I would like to invite our cantor to lead us on page 164. And the reason the cantor is leading, there are two reasons the cantor is leading the service today. The first one is that he sings much beautiful than any of us. That's the main reason.
We invite you to turn down to page 228.
Not only of AMBAC but also of Irwin Pakistani Parents Foundation and CalPAC Educational Services. In 2015, she was a part of the Obama White House Summit and presented solutions for countering violent extremism. In a very short time, as the chair for the IRF Roundtable Pakistan, she has built a network of roundtables in Pakistan and engaged all faiths and vulnerable communities to work for religious freedom. She has inspired the next generation of Muslims to get trained in religious freedom, advocacy, and women's rights. Please welcome Ms. Anila Ali.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ambassadors, Excellency, my partners, faith leaders, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. When we eat together, we will play together, and we will love each other. So let's do that more often. God bless you all. Thank you. Shalom. Daja Wanchan. Good evening, everyone. My name is Christina Wong Poi, and I work in the Governor's Office of Community Initiatives. I'm actually here with some of my colleagues. One of my former colleagues is Jennifer Gray. She was the Interfaith Director. Thank you. She's now with the Maryland Department of Transportation, doing some similar work there. And another colleague, Mel. Where's Mel? Over with Housing and Development. And I'm the director of the Governor's Commission on South Asian American Affairs and the Governor's Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs. It's two separate commissions, which has 21 commissioners on each commission. And that's 42 commissioners. And they represent the different counties and ethnicities and communities in Maryland. And I bring with me a message on behalf of Governor Wes Moore, as well as a proclamation. And I'll start with the message, which is Ramadan Mubarak. And the proclamation reads, from the Governor of the State of Maryland, the holy month of Ramadan, March 22nd through April 20th, 2023. Whereas every 9th month of the Islamic calendar is recognized worldwide as the holy month of Ramadan, one of the 5 pillars of Islam, during which Al-Quran was first revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. And whereas more than 35,000 Muslims from 60 different nations who now call Maryland home will collectively engage in fasting, ritual feasts, iftars, and various acts of group and individual charity in order to promote community while proclaiming and strengthening their faith. And whereas the holy month serves as an opportunity to become closer through prayer while seeking forgiveness and great blessings. And whereas during this time of heightened reflection, it is proper to recognize and respect the programs, partnerships, activities, and events that are taking place throughout the state of Maryland and the nation in observance of the holy month of Ramadan. Now, therefore, I, Wes Moore, Governor of the State of Maryland, do hereby proclaim March 22nd, 2023 through April 20th, 2023 as the holy month of Ramadan in Maryland, and do commend this observance to all of our citizens, is signed by Governor Wes Moore, Lieutenant Governor Runa Miller, and Secretary of State Susan Lee. And I'm presenting it to Anila.
Good evening and greetings from His Eminence Archbishop of Ecumenical Forest of America of the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America. Dear friends, esteemed guest, dear Anila, dear Rabbi Stewart, thank you for having us tonight and celebrating the time where the three Abrahamic traditions are either getting ready or in the midst of preparing themselves to the highest religious feast and celebrations of their calendar. And as I was listening to Anila,
Sahib Ji, Adeshamachato, combining all the traditions from my faith, the Islamic faith, the Jewish faith, and so forth. I'm Kersi Shroff, and you may as well ask, why am I here in a Jewish-Islamic dialogue? I am the interloper here. But Ms. Ali very kindly invited me, knowing of the ancient connections between the Jewish traditions, Islam, and my personal life. I grew up in Karachi, Pakistan as a Parsi Zoroastrian, and I was there till I finished my college education and my law degree. So I'm well familiar with Iftar and even Sehri, and I've enjoyed that with family, friends, neighbors in Pakistan. So I'm here to represent the Zoroastrian community, the Zoroastrians being the followers of the ancient prophet Zarathustra, called Zoroaster by the Greeks. So we are mostly, just to give a little introduction to Zoroastrianism because it's not known, we are mostly from India and Pakistan, and there's a Zoroastrian community from Iran.
The time to one thing, Rabbi Stewart, Anila, and Imam Sharif for having us here today. I really want to just reaffirm the commitment that we have for addressing anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and hate. As you all know, when the president came into office, on day one, he started with ending the Muslim ban. And then beyond that, he worked to sign an executive order to include diversity, equity, and inclusion. Many of us are probably aware we hosted a United We Stand Summit. And with that summit came this new interagency task force to address these issues. And I personally have been a part of them in the sense of gathering all of our interfaith colleagues, faith leaders, religious leaders, and community stakeholders to ensure that your voices are reflected in the policy-making process and to ensure that we're able to actually move forward in a meaningful and strategic way. And I'm so excited to share that we will be launching a strategy in the coming weeks on anti-Semitism. So, and hopefully with additional actions to continue for issues ranging from other forms of hate and bigotry. I do want to say from a personal capacity, if there's time, I'm the daughter of two wonderful Muslim Bangladeshi American parents. Growing up in Florida, my parents raised me in a household of faith and dreams. They instilled religious values in me, but most importantly, they highlighted the nation's history and the values of e pluribus unum, which I'm still learning to pronounce, as you can tell. I actually grew up in a primarily Jewish and Latin community, and I actually was very surprised to learn that Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are not nationwide holidays where we receive days off. I don't know, that was very much news to me. I also learned that the Heritage Hispanic Month was not something that was celebrated nationwide, and if anybody is curious, it's mid-September to mid-October, so hopefully that's something we all celebrate moving forward. But none of the ways, I found ways to honor and celebrate several holidays from both my own faith and others. As I moved on to college, I was able to play Holi at our local park. I lit a menorah during an interfaith dinner. I became a godparent at my best friend's daughter's baptism. It's really to show with this upbringing that I cannot agree with President Biden's sentiment that hate must have no safe harbor in this country, and we must affirm that sentiment again and again. So many continue to face prejudice, bigotry and violence, and it's a stain on our collective conscience. But I find so much hope in being here with you all that we can overcome this, that we can all sit in one room and break our fast together, share our faiths, and reaffirm our commitment to promoting justice. So I'll leave that for now. I'm happy to continue to share more of what the administration's doing. If you're wanting to learn more about the task force, please don't hesitate to come to me while we're enjoying our fast together. And I really appreciate you all bringing this here today. So thank you so much.
But I feel immensely privileged to be here because I heard from Rabbi, I heard from Muslims, I heard from Zoroastrians, and myself, my country is embodiment of all of these religions. Actually, Zardusht in Azerbaijan, we still have a temple in Baku, which is one of the most visited places. Synagogues are thriving, churches are everywhere, and mosques are the place where everybody is coming to pray regardless of the religion. It will be, I think, inappropriate for Muslim ambassador to stay between the breaking the fast and giving the long speech. But very shortly, what I want to say is that just months ago, I had an interfaith delegation from Azerbaijan in Salt Lake City. So I had Sheikh of entire Caucasus, not just Azerbaijan or South Caucasus. I had Chief Rabbi of Azerbaijan. And I had 3 Christian leaders from my country. And they all went to the synagogue to pray, to talk. They all went together to the churches, different churches. And also they went to the mosque. This is we all need to be doing. And that's what we're doing today, and I appreciate all the efforts Anila and everybody else through our organizations are putting together. Because I believe it comes exactly from what you said, Anila. When you were reading the wonderful poem you wrote, you said that it should be the religion, the faith of humanity, right? Regardless who we are. And that's what my parents told me. That's what my parents told me. Before learning that I'm Muslim, I learned from my parents that your religion is being a good person. Full stop. After I learned I'm a Muslim, after I learned what it takes to be a Muslim, what it takes to be a good person. So therefore, it indeed comes from the religion of humanity. And thank you very much, Rabbi, for saying that everything comes from the heart. Because humanity is also coming from the heart. I thank you all, and I hope that we'll continue these traditions, regardless of what we are, who we are. And I really want to thank you for sharing with us your personal story, and also to the governor of Maryland. You should know that you have a lot of Azerbaijanis living in the state of Maryland. And they
colleagues and our Bahraini colleagues, really historic event that took place here in Washington and in general. I think two and a half years ago, up to 2.5 years ago, nobody would have believed that this would be possible. So we really are in historic times now. We're talking about countries both in the US and in Israel and so many other places around the world where we see all these faiths coming together and living together side by side in harmony and in peace, with dialogue and talk and understanding. And this is what Ramadan is also so much about, and what Passover is about, and what Easter is about as well, if we're talking about the 3 monotheistic religions. So Ramadan started just over a week ago. We saw in Temple Mount just last Friday over 100,000 Muslims going up to Temple Mount, which was an impressive sight to see. We're seeing Muslims pray here, we're seeing Muslims pray all over the world. And this is a time for kind of thinking inward as well, reflecting during this month. And the fast is something that helps us do so. I can attest to this as a Jew who fasts on a number of times during the year as well. This is a big part of it. And there's nothing like the breakfast afterwards, the meal that comes afterwards, which we're all also looking forward to. I remember growing up in Israel, in Jerusalem, hearing the muazzin call for prayer. Yes, also very early in the morning at times, which is something special. My wife grew up in the old city in Jerusalem, the Jewish quarter. There you could hear it even more at all hours of the day and night. And it's a beautiful thing to hear and see. And something to embrace and something to enjoy seeing here and seeing elsewhere also around the world during this month and throughout the year as well. This interfaith gathering is something special, something that we've also just seen recently in the Emirates, in the UAE, in Abu Dhabi, where they just recently opened the Abraham House, which is house or a home for the three monotheistic religions in Abu Dhabi, and seeing Muslims, Christians and Jews go together and pray together in the same complex is also something very special. So I would invite on behalf of the Emiratis to go and visit there as well. It really is a great opportunity. So I will perhaps just end with a pasuk, a sentence from our sources. Oseh shalom b'mromav, he who brings peace in the heavens, ya'aseh shalom aleinu, will bring peace unto us, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, and all the people of Israel, and I will add, and unto the world, ve'al ha'olam ve'imru, amen.
Thank you so much. And I think it's time. Next, I'd like to call our very own Imam Talib Sharif to the stage to announce officially the breaking of the fast, and we'll have members of our team distributing dates and water. So, Imam Talib Sharif. Yeah.
They should pass it down.
Yeah. So you have food present at each row, and if you could just pass it on so that we can break the fast and then continue.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. So as he just mentioned, we want to take one sort of brief pause to break the fast, and then we have about another 15 minutes. We have about 3 more speakers. And the good news is that the food is not going anywhere after we break the fast. It'll still be there waiting for us.
Okay. All right. So I think we should.
So I'm going to call the adhan, which is a signal that it's time to break the fast, and then make a prayer, a brief prayer that is known and made. So we'll call the adhan. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. Amantu wa alayhi tawakkaltu wa bi rizq minhi aftartu. Niwaitu siyom shahr Ramadan ghadan. And that is, with Almighty God's name, the merciful benefactor, the compassionate. We believe in Almighty God. We put our complete dependency in Almighty God. And with the sustenance that He has provided, we break our fast. And for those who are fasting tomorrow, we make our intention to fast tomorrow in this month of Ramadan. So we break our fast now, and then we'll continue with the next speaker. So about 15 minutes, and then we'll break.
It speaks about fasting. Almighty God tells Muslims that I have prescribed fasting for you, just like I have prescribed for those. It takes us to our faith community and our faith identity, but also it takes us back to our human identity.
We first would like to invite those who have been fasting to go to partake first, and then the rest of us will enjoy. The social hall is open.
मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई है, आज का इवेंट बहुत अच्छा हुआ और आपने देखा बहुत सारी मुसलमान कंट्रीज़ और इज़राइल और मुस्लिम्स, जूज़, क्रिश्चियंस, कैथलिक्स, सिख, बहाई, ज़ोरास्ट्रियन, सारी फेथ कम्युनिटीज़ ने आके यही कहा कि हम सब स्ट्रॉन्गर होंगे टू फाइट द फोर्सेस ऑफ ईवल अगर हम सब मिल के इस दुनिया को बेहतर करेंगे अपने बच्चों के लिए. सो ये आप देख रहे हैं इतना ब्यूटीफुल हमारे रहबाई गाना गा रहे हैं. उनका जो मैसेज है वो यही है, सलाम इज़ पीस. जूडाइज़म हमारे जैसे हज़रत इब्राहीम अलैहिस्सलाम से इस्लाम आया है, क्रिश्चियनिटी आई है, तो ये जो उनका गाना जो गा रहे हैं वो सलाम अलैकुम है, ब्रिंग पीस. सो आई होप कि इस तरह की गैदरिंग्स हम सब करेंगे और अपने घरों में लोगों को बुलाएंगे जो हमारे फेथ के नहीं हैं और इफ्तार उनके साथ खोलेंगे. थैंक यू.
So, first of all, tonight was an incredible event where we brought Muslim community members as well as leaders, both at the civil and national levels. It was incredibly powerful for me to see the prayer right before the iftar dinner, and hearing Allahu Akbar in a synagogue in the United States was incredibly moving emotionally, psychologically, personally. I lived in Jerusalem for 3 years and I have seen Ramadan from the Middle East, but seeing it in the US like this, I can't describe it. It was an incredible experience. Just so shows how people really do want to be in an interfaith, pluralistic society without divisions. So I'm really, really grateful that I was able to be a part of this event and to be an MC with my co-MC Safi.
Kersi Shroff, originally from Pakistan. I'm a Parsi Zoroastrian, grew up in Karachi and finished my education and law degree before I came to the United Kingdom and the United States. Since this is an iftar event, I say that I have enjoyed many iftars while growing up with my neighbors and friends in Karachi. I used to work at a major hotel in Karachi where we would break fast with all the workers, the baggage handlers, to receptionists, to the managers, and it was such a wonderful getting together. The Parsi community has survived in Pakistan for many years and they've contributed to the development of Pakistan. And I'm delighted to be part of the interfaith scene here. And the event organized today was such a wonderful event to bring diversity and togetherness and friendship and love for everybody.
Hello everyone, so today we had a wonderful Muslim-Jewish interfaith iftar. I was emceeing and both the traditions showed their ways of worship. It was fabulous, it was fascinating. It was for me, it was the first time I saw like how the Jewish Bible is recited and how they like offer their prayers, and it was to some extent similar and some extent different, but it's great that we are having this kind of interreligious dialogue and events and coming together on issues that concern both of us. For example, bigotry, whether it be in the form of Islamophobia or whether it be in the form of anti-Semitism, it doesn't have a place in society. So I would say it was a great and a very successful event, and thank you to everyone who came. Yeah.
Today was an incredibly wonderful program. I'm wishing all of our Muslim friends Ramadan Mubarak.
The first time for an iftar for me, it was a wonderful experience and I look forward to attending more in the future.
Assalamu alaikum, shalom aleichem. I really appreciated being invited to this interfaith dinner. I'm passionate about the cause. My life has been really devoted to bringing different cultures, faiths together. And I really love what Anila Ali is doing. It really means a lot to me. Being from a multi-faith family, it really touches me. So I'm wishing many of you who celebrate Ramadan a Ramadan Mubarak. And as the Jewish holidays are coming, happy Pesach to those who will be celebrating, and peace and love to everyone. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rabbi Stuart Weinblatt, the Rabbi of Congregation B'nai Tzedek, and I'm chairman of the Zionist Rabbinic Coalition. We here in Potomac at B'nai Tzedek thought it was very important to hold this event tonight, an iftar, in order to be able to convey the message of cooperation, of tolerance, and we are so honored that so many people came from different faiths. We had someone from the Zoroastrian faith. We had a Greek Orthodox diocese was represented here. And of course, the Jewish religion and the Muslim religion. And part of why we did what we did was in order to convey what this is all about, what America's ideals are all about, and what our faiths are all about. We have different paths and different ways to reach the Almighty, but at the end of the day, our goal is similar, which is to bring God's message to earth, which is the message of peace and of compassion, of kindness and of goodness. And that's part of why we did this, and we're honored to be able to host it. We hope, inshallah, that we'll be able to host other ones as well.
Naam, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm Satwan Singh Khalsa, representing the Sikh community and Sri Singh Sahib Corporation. Just so happy to be here together and sharing this fellowship of all the great religions coming together to recognize their common humanity and spread the universal message of love and tolerance and understanding. Satnam.
Capital TV Washington